What is going on with gun companies? Poor QC everywhere, even with respected light and holster brands. That's a good question. Unfortunately, I don't have the best of answer. I'm going to try and give my answer. It's going to ramble and go back and forth and maybe even contradict itself, but it's just like a like spitball of theories. So here it goes. First off, I think that in reality, they don't make them like they used to. I think that's the case. I think that there's more and more machines doing stuff. I think stuff is made to a tolerance and slammed together. And when stuff's not, sat there and worked on by a person, building it out, that guess what? You know what? There's more chances of, oh, this tolerance and this tolerance, while they're technically in spec, they don't like each other, so they cause an issue. And something that would have been checked over more thoroughly by a human would have been fine. I also think you have companies run by bean counters where they're looking at every possible way to cut corners and cut expenses and maximize profits. I think you've got a lot of companies using gun techs instead of gunsmiths. I think you've got companies that ride off their good name. Companies like Smith and Wesson that, used to be, I mean, they are a household name, but they used to pretty much be, if I was going to say to someone, hey, I need a revolver, what should I get? Smith and Wesson. Whereas now, honestly, as much as I love their designs, I've had too many issues with them, and I hear about too many issues with them to want to buy one, at least a new one. So this one's a little more specific to some of the more like heirloom quality firearm companies, we'll say like Smith& Wesson, where I've seen this many times in Facebook groups where people will have 10 new Smith& Wessons. They bought them brand new. They keep them in the case. They don't take them out of anything. They just leave them as is because they're too nice to shoot and they're saving them as an investment, or they're going to pass them down to the kids or grandkids, or they're waiting for them to be worth money. Whatever reason, they're just collecting them and they have no intention of ever shooting the gun or even really looking it over because they don't want to get fingerprints all over it. And in reality, there's quality control issues probably sitting in those little blue boxes, and they'll never know because the guns just sit. So that means the companies get away with passing off poor quality control because someone's thinking it's too nice to take out and shoot and find out if it's worth anything. And finally, COVID. I think since COVID, the world changed, people's perspective on working changed, and I think people don't care as much. And I think that's because a lot of people work from home and a lot of people still work from home. And let's face it, if you have the choice of working from home and not having to commute to a place or having to commute to a place, what would you rather? So I think the whole quiet quitting thing, and I'm not even saying it's wrong, I'm not touching that, is become a thing.